Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Badlands, and for those of you that are new here, I am collecting and playing the video game collection of my childhood dreams, and today I've got 5 more games to show you. And I know what you're saying, all this guy does is he collects Xbox 360 games, blah blah blah. Well actually, I'm an original Xbox collector, okay? I just haven't found any. But today I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to throw something else in there, so I know you're not here for me, you're here for the games, and let's get into it. First game I've got to show you guys today is one that I've never really seen out in the wild until I went to a pawn shop recently, and it's Phantasy Star Universe. I've heard of Phantasy Star Online and such, but never Phantasy Star Universe. And the disc is not in here because it's in my 360. I was grabbing some footage for this video from it, but it's complete. Released in October 2006 by Sega, Phantasy Star Universe takes players on the intergalactic journey where you're not just an adventurer, you're part of the elite Guardians tasked with saving the universe from a growing menace. Between battling creatures that look like they straight walked out of an alien fashion show and navigating space politics more complicated than filing taxes, you've got your work cut out for you. But fear not, you'll have your trusty photon saber in one hand, and if things get dicey, a monomate in the other. The plot kicks off with Ethan Weber, a reluctant hero with surprisingly good hair for a guy constantly saving planets, as he stumbles upon an intergalactic crisis that only you and a ragtag bunch of companions can solve. Think of it as your typical save the galaxy gig, but with cooler weapons and less paperwork. The game isn't just about high-octane battles. Phantasy Star Universe is all about balance. From leveling up your character to perfecting your hoverboarding skills, there's plenty of downtime where you can decorate your room, craft new gear, or just marvel at how your fashion choices make you look like a futuristic rock star. Seriously, the wardrobe in this game could give Space Couture a whole new meaning. And let's not forget about the multiplayer mode. Why save the universe alone when you can do it with friends who will undoubtedly spend more time customizing their character's outfit than actually fighting? From forming guilds to tackling missions together, the game brings a social aspect that keeps things fresh. Unless you're the one friend who insists on showing off their rare armor, we get it. You played more than the rest of us combined. Phantasy Star Universe struck a chord with fans of the franchise and online RPG enthusiasts alike. Its vibrant world and multiplayer appeal outweighed some of its technical shortcomings, making it a game worth playing, even if it wasn't always perfect. Up next is a game I've walked by many times in game stores and when I was younger at the rental store, but I never picked it up, and from what I read on reviews, it's probably a good thing I never picked it up. Let me know what you think about this one down in the comments below, but it is Alone in the Dark. And of course, it's complete. I try to get everything complete if I can. Released in 2008 by Atari, Alone in the Dark for the Xbox 360 throws you in a modern-day horror experience with a side of existential dread, and just enough fire to remind you why carrying a lighter everywhere might not be such a bad idea. Set in New York's iconic Central Park, which, let's be honest, was creepy even before supernatural characters started appearing, you play as Edward Carnby, a man suffering from a memory as unreliable as the game's physics engine. The storyline is part horror mystery, part action-adventure, with a heavy dose of what's happening right now, thrown in for good measure. As Carnby, you'll navigate through an ever-shifting park filled with ancient evils, grotesque monsters, and enough plot twists to keep a daytime soap writer busy for months. Oh, and did we mention the puzzles? Alone in the Dark delights in locking you in rooms with cryptic mechanisms while you slowly realize your brain wasn't prepared for this level of challenge. The game will have you combining everyday objects in ways you never thought possible, which is probably the most relatable thing it offers. One of the game's standout features is the real-time item management. Want to craft an explosive using a spray can and a lighter? Go ahead. Just don't fumble with your inventory for too long because those monsters aren't known for their patience. If the controls sometimes feel like you're wrestling an octopus, well, that's part of the Alone in the Dark charm, right? But while the gameplay was often praised for its innovation, the technical execution, let's just say the bugs and camera angles weren't completely cursed, but they came close. If you ever wanted to stare at the back of Edward's head while getting mauled by a demon, this game has you covered. In short, Alone in the Dark was a divisive title. It earned respect for trying to innovate within the survival horror genre, but ultimately struggled due to technical flaws. For fans of horror game, it's a bold, if slightly frustrating experiment, one that walks the fine line between terrifying and unintentionally comedic. The next game I picked up is also one I've never seen before. That seems to be a common trend. I seen it on the pawn shop shelves and I thought maybe this one could be interesting. If not, it's filler for the collection, right? Gotta have a wall of games. But it's Sacred 2 Fallen Angel. It's like a dungeon looter game. It's complete, obviously. Like I said, I always try to get them complete, but doesn't always work out. Released in May 2009 for the Xbox 360 by Deep Silver, Sacred 2 Fallen Angel is a sprawling action RPG that throws you into the mystical world of Ancaria, where the only thing more vast than the world map is your inventory after a few hours of loot hunting. Set 2,000 years before the events of the first Sacred, the game presents you with a simple choice: light or dark. As you expect, one path leads to saving the world, and the other, well, let's just say it doesn't end with puppies and rainbows. Players choose from a roster of 6 diverse characters, from the angelic seraphim to the hulking temple guardian, each with their own unique abilities, combat styles, and reasons for getting mixed up in a world filled with angry monsters and suspicious shiny treasure chests. The game's plot centered around a mysterious substance known as T-Energy. It's pretty much the fantasy equivalent of there's some weird stuff going on and you should probably do something about it. The game's map is massive, packed with countless quests, side missions, and enough dungeons to make even the bravest adventurers consider early retirement. To spend most of your time either slashing, hacking, or casting spells at every enemy that crosses your path, which is a lot of enemies. Luckily, the game's loot system is here to make all the grinding worth it. Armor sets, weapon potions, it's like Christmas morning, but with more dragons and fewer fruitcakes. Sacred 2 also features drop-in and drop-out multiplayer, so you can drag your friends into the chaos too, whether they're helping you defeat a boss or competing to grab that rare item before you do. Teamwork is, well, optional, especially when loot's on the line. In short, Sacred 2 Fallen Angel has enough content to keep action RPG fans entertained for hours, but it wasn't without a few hiccups along the way. If you're a fan of epic loot fests, it's a rewarding journey, but be prepared for some technical bumps on the road to glory. This next game is one that I'm familiar with, and I could have sworn I had it in my collection. I've seen it so many times on the thrift store shelves and whatnot, and I always thought I had it in my collection. Even though this is a different variant, this is the Game of the Year edition. I picked up Borderlands, the first one. With the 2-disc flapper here. Unfortunately, mine does not have the fold-out Pandora map, so it's technically not fully complete. But it is what it is, right? That's the gamble of buying stuff from thrift stores, right? Released in October 2010 for the Xbox 360 by Gearbox Software, Borderlands Game of the Year Edition took everything players loved about the original 2009 release and cranked it up to 11. Including all 4 of the game's DLC expansions, imagine a world where more loot was the answer to everything, and you've got Borderlands. Set on the post-apocalyptic planet of Pandora, the game combines first-person shooting with RPG elements, all wrapped up in a comic book-style art aesthetic that makes everything from the explosions to the sarcastic dialogue pop off the screen. The story is a classic stranger comes to town fare, except in this case you're one of 4 vault hunters seeking a legendary vault said to contain imaginable riches, and maybe a few ancient alien secrets. Choose from the tanky Brick, the stealthy Mordecai, the elemental-wielding Lilith, or the gun-obsessed soldier Roland, and embark on a journey filled with bandits, mutated creatures, and one incredibly annoying robot named Claptrap who may or may not haunt your dreams with his never-ending enthusiasm. Shut the heck up, Claptrap. The real star of the show here is the loot system. Borderlands is all about guns. Lots and lots and lots of guns. We're talking procedurally generated weapons with endless variations. Everything from shotguns that send enemies on fire to sniper rifles that electrocute them. Every fight, every chest, and even every vendor is a new opportunity to find that perfect weapon that will make you feel like an unstoppable force of nature. Of course, the enemies scale right along with your growing arsenal, so it'll never be too far from a fresh challenge. Borderlands also features a cooperative multiplayer mode, allowing up to 4 players to team up and take on the world of Pandora together. Whether you're coordinating with friends to tackle a difficult boss or arguing over who gets the best loot, the co-op experience is one of the game's biggest strengths. The Game of the Year edition sweetened the deal by adding the game's DLC, the Zombie Island of Dr. Ned, Mad Max's Underdome Riot, the Secret Armory of General Knox, and Claptrap's new Robot Revolution. Each expansion brought more humor, more enemies, and of course more loot. In short, Borderlands Game of the Year edition was celebrated for its fast-paced, loot-filled, and laugh-out-loud gameplay, especially in co-op mode. Though some repetitive elements and minor technical hiccups were noted, its blend of humor, shooting, and RPG mechanics made it a fan favorite and a definitive title in the looter-shooter genre. Now this next one is a staple game for this console. Just about everybody that owns this console's probably played it at some point, and it's Mario Kart Wii. And I know what you're saying. Oh, Badlands, this one isn't complete. Yeah, well, sometimes you can't always get them complete, okay? Especially when the price is right and you don't own the frickin' game. There's always time to buy the manual on the side, or if I can get a condition upgrade, I'll do that. Mario Kart Wii, where friends became enemies and blue shells ruined lives. Released in April 2008 by Nintendo, Mario Kart Wii took everything fans loved about the franchise and added a few new twists, most notably motion controls because duh, it's on the Wii. An online multiplayer. It's the game that turned family-friendly racing into high-stakes battleground, where the difference between victory and defeat often comes down to how many bananas you dodged and whether or not you're lucky enough to avoid the dreaded blue shell, because let's face it, the blue shell doesn't care how good you are, it's just here to ruin your day. With 32 tracks spanning everything from classic courses to new inventive arenas, Mario Kart Wii delivers fast-paced, chaotic fun across a variety of environments. Whether you're racing through the lush Mushroom Gorge or the perilous Coconut Mall, each race presents the perfect blend of frantic action, tight corners, and unpredictable item drops. One of the biggest changes in Mario Kart Wii was the introduction of the Wii Wheel, a plastic steering wheel accessory that added a level of immersion or frustration depending on how well you handled it. Motion controls made every turn feel more physical, and while you could still use traditional controllers, the game encouraged players to embrace the chaos with motion-based driving. Characters and vehicles are also fully customizable, allowing players to choose from a roster of beloved Mario characters, from the iconic Mario and Luigi to less expected racers like Baby Peach and Dry Bones. Plus, each kart and bike has its own unique stats, so you can decide whether you want speed, control, or a little bit of both. One of the game's shining features was its online multiplayer, where up to 12 players could race simultaneously. Whether you were trying to beat friends or strangers across the globe, Mario Kart Wii's online component was a game changer for the series, opening up the chaos to a worldwide audience. Overall, Mario Kart Wii was hailed as a triumph for both solo and multiplayer modes, bringing the new series to new heights with its online functionality, chaotic items, and charming visuals. While not everyone loved the motion controls, the game's vast track selection, character roster, and smooth multiplayer experience made it an instant classic in the Mario Kart franchise. Also, I'm going to add in Burial Kart. What an amazing invention for partying. Just going to put that here. If you made it to the end of this video, I would like to sincerely thank you for toughing it out. I know these videos are probably not what you're used to for content wise, but I'm starting out. I have no idea what I'm doing, so leave me some feedback down below. If you would have left any of these on the shelves, or if you already own these games, or if you have some recommendations on games I should pick up, let me know in the comments down below. And like, subscribe. I'm slowly growing. Right now, I think I'm sitting at 34 subscribers, so just a small-time creator, or trying to create. If you guys want to check me out live, I'm at twitch.tv/Badlands. Come on over, hang out, laugh, watch me rage. It's a good time. Thanks for watching this video. Peace.